I think one of the themes of the last 20 years has been a narrative around rising inequality in the United States. There has been the sense among a great deal of the American public that things economically, things socially, have been moving in a direction where there are some folks who get treated a lot better than others. Now, I think, there are economists who will argue the points about how to measure that and how to think about that. But at least among the American public, this has become a stronger and stronger narrative over time. You've seen it actually define some presidential campaigns when we start to talk about insiders or folks within DC or the economic elite. These have become much more central themes within campaigns. So it's not surprising to see pretty significant percentages of Americans saying that really these aren't systems that work for me, when that sort of narrative is so common within our political life.
This is a very clear concern that the majority of voters have, that the economic system and the political system, which of course are intertwined, only work for those who are wealthy or who are well connected. In your data, you actually see somewhat of a split there. Close to 70% of Democrats believe that the system only works for those who are wealthy and well connected. That is still a pretty significant finding, and it's consistent with voter study data, voter study group data, and a lot of other public opinion research recently. I think the thing to look at, though, is how that is going to, again, affect and be affected by the current economic crisis. And one very clear flashing yellow light for American politicians, the voting public is very, very suspicious that one of the elements in the new economic package, namely industry bailouts, again, the airline industry, certain large hospitality companies, and other large firms that are able to get Federal Reserve funds, the American public is very concerned that money be used to support workers, to keep employees on payroll, and that money not be used for things like stock buybacks or excessive CEO pay. So that's a really important thing. The American public does not want that. A majority of Americans actually say that if CEOs take money from the bailout and then turn around and lay off workers, they should be held criminally liable. So this is a finding that's quite consistent with the broader suspicion that many voters have, that the system kind of only works if you're well connected. I think we are already hearing talk about the next phase of some kind of federal rescue package, given the economic crisis. And I will be very interested to see if voters support the kinds of policies that I would consider to be real structural change, that actually means building institutions that have power for working people. So would voters support the idea that you should see more labor power, more union power coming to the bargaining table to fight for employees' rights? Will voters support things that actually relieve student loan debt in this crisis? Because, we have over $1 trillion in student loan debt, and most of that money actually goes to for-profit debt servicers. So when you make that argument to people, can you say, okay, let's keep money in the pockets of young people who have debt and not have that money go to credit companies and servicers? That too is a form of structural change, because it's a form of saying, let's shift power from large corporations to everyday people. So I'll be really interested to see if going forward, voters would support that kind of change given the crisis.